My name is Ari Snyder, and I'm going to talk to my grandmother about her past. When and where were you born?
I was born on November 29th, 1928, on Thanksgiving Day, and my mother always said she missed her Thanksgiving dinner, but she smiled when she said it, so I didn't really mind when I was growing up, or a little kid. And I lived in Brooklyn, and I was born in Brooklyn and lived in Brooklyn until I was married.
Where have you lived in general?
Well, when Papa, Ted, and I were married, we lived in Brooklyn, and I was teaching school. And then from there, we moved to Waterbury, Connecticut. That was our first stop. And in Waterbury, Connecticut, your Aunt Leslie was born. And then after that, from there, we moved to Syracuse, New York, where Daddy was born. And from there, we moved a nice change from Syracuse, New York, with 9 months of winter. We moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, and we lived right 4 blocks from the ocean, and it was great. So it was like being on vacation, except they had school and I worked and Dad worked. But in between, we went to the beach, and they were able to play outside longer and really enjoyed it. Papa worked as an engineer with General Electric on going to the moon. Very exciting. And he took Aunt Leslie and Daddy when the rockets were going up to test going to the moon. He would take them to where they were being tested, and they could see it going up at the sky. It was a very exciting time for everybody. And then from there, we lived there 6 years, and then we moved to, we moved to Virginia. Small town in Virginia, completely different, which was exciting in its own way. And we lived there 4 years, and then we moved to Long Island, where we lived until, long time, until we moved here.
Now, who were your parents?
My parents, name was Anne, and my father's name was Bernard.
How did you celebrate your Jewish holidays?
Well, sometimes when I was a little kid, we'd go, the high holidays, we would go to temple, but we didn't really belong to a temple then. No, I don't know whether or not that we couldn't afford it or whatever it was then, but we had a lot of family there. I lived within a few blocks of my cousins and aunts and uncles, and that was nice because we grew up with a number of them. My mother had a large family, and they all lived nearby.
Thank you for
You're very welcome, my love.